welcome to Gratitude Space Radio. I'm with Medea Kalantar, and welcome to this space.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you to all you listeners and all you beautiful souls that are here today. I'm so grateful and honored to be here.
Oh, thank you. I'm so honored to be talking with you, and I absolutely love what you're doing, and I'm excited to be sharing what you're doing. And I just wanted to preface this. We have a couple friends, but I was talking to my friend Bobby about some stuff going on in my with my gratitude practice and everything, and he's like, you need to talk to Medea. He specifically was like, you've got to talk to this woman, and I love Bobby so much, and I will. Anywhere he directs me, I'm going to get on the bus. You know what I mean?
Yes. Well, you know what? The universe always brings people together because it's so funny. Because Nusha, also from the writing community, she messaged me privately and she says, you have to check out what Chris is doing. You have to submit something. So I'm like, okay. And then Bobby did the same thing. So I'm like, the universe is bringing us together for a reason. So it's just so beautiful. And I'm so grateful to both of them for connecting us too.
Likewise, yeah, they're both wonderful people, and the project which I haven't really talked about on the podcast is engaging people and sharing gratitude in the writing form, and it excites me to no end the fact that I can be a part of putting that call out and that it's happening, just that again putting it out and then it's happening. So receiving your letter and then getting right now. So the cool thing is like I put that call out, and now here we are right here, right? This is a byproduct of just putting the call out. Obviously, I've got your letter, which is beautiful, and we're working on that, but this is completely this is just separate. This is a byproduct of putting the call out. Yeah. So it's get to connect with other people that understand gratitude and want to pulse that light out into the world. So it's a wonderful thing. So let's talk about, for starters, can you tell the people a little bit more about yourself and what you're doing and your passion?
Absolutely. So I am a children's book author for the Honeycake series. I actually wrote this book when I found out I was going to become a grandmother. So in 2018, my daughter Shanaz, who was suffering from PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome, never thought she could have children, was planning to actually get married the following year. So we're planning a wedding. All of a sudden, surprise, surprise, was found out she was having a baby. And I got so excited and so elated that I was going to become a grandmother. So in honor of my baby, my grandmother, I started to bake a honey cake, because honey cake in our culture is for celebrations or stuff like that. So while I was making the cake, I was thinking of all the different ingredients in it. There's coffee and cinnamon and nutmeg and cloves and all these beautiful, rich ingredients. And I was thinking, this cake is going to be kind of similar to my future grandchild, because I'm from Georgia, my husband is Persian, but my daughter's fiance, Brandon, is Jamaican and Guyanese. So this child has all this mix of ethnicities. And that's how the vision of Honeycake came to life. Honeycake meaning a person that's a mix of ethnicities. And then I have to tell you, Chris, I have no background in writing. I have no literature background. I had no thought process that I was going to be a writer, but I woke up one day and I wrote 5 books in 4 days. It's like I started to channel these messages and I just started to write, because it's everything I truly believe in, because everyone in the book is actually my family. So that's me, and that's my husband, my daughter, my son-in-law. The only fictional character is Nala, because when I wrote the books, I didn't know what Shanaz was going to have. She ended up having a little boy, and his name is Lokenzo. So, and that's how the stories came about. So the first book, Honeycake, A Family of Spices, the grandmother's teaching Nala how to bake a cake. And she's explaining how each delicious ingredient represents a different family member with his or her unique ethnic background. But the main message of the book is that no matter where you come from or what color your skin is, we're all one race, and that's the human race. So, and that's like what Honeycake's about. Each book has a valuable life lesson. And I'm also a Reiki Master and Practitioner. So I've been doing that for 5 years now, helping people overcome any kind of fear or anxiety. So my second book that was really easy to roll out was Help I Swallow the Butterfly. because that's teaching children how to overcome anxiety. It's a play on words. Like she goes to school, she's about to present, but she gets really scared and she freezes up. But the teacher says, "Oh, don't worry, honey, you just have butterflies in your tummy." But she didn't know what that meant. So she ran home and she's like, "Mom, help, I have swallowed some butterfly." But she realized it was just because she was feeling anxious. The book teaches mindfulness as an introduction. So there's step-by-step meditation guide, deep breathing exercises, and also setting positive intentions for the day. And then my favorite thing, because I always say that I know I'm here to spread love and light and to inspire kindness. So my third book, Special Magical Powers, is the special magical powers we have inside, which is kindness. So Nala goes on an adventure with her grandma and her Uncle JD, which is my son. And she's donating her unused clothes and toys to a shelter for families who have lost everything. So now we're teaching children the spirit of giving, that it could be any time, and also while she's going to the shelter, she's seeing all the different ways she can spread kindness and by smiling at people. So I always think of people as candles. So if you look at someone and they're having a really bad day, you smile at them and then all of a sudden they feel better. And then because they're smiling and they're feeling good, they pass it along. So it's like that magic just continues through. So things like that, just smiling at people or opening the doors or using your manners like peace or thank you. So things like that. So again, valuable life lessons that, that we can teach to our children. And then my fourth book, which is really important, it's called A Circle of Trust. So teaching children the value of honest and open communication in a safe space. How important is that to teach children that important lesson? Because if they know that they can come to their loved one and not be afraid or ridiculed or judged about anything that's happened, if something has gone wrong, they don't have to hide it. And they can say, this has happened and own up to it. By the time they're adults or when something even harder comes along that they have a hard time to discussing, they already built that foundation with their family. So I thought that was really important. And then, of course, the fifth book that's coming out in September 1st is Counting on My Blessings. And that's all about teaching gratitude, how important it is to teach that to our children. And not only when things go right, but when things don't go right, because we have to be grateful for those things as well. And of course, all the magical miracles that happen every day that we don't think about, like waking up, being able to breathe or being able to take a shower, or all the frontline workers that out there say, doing all the work just to make our lives a lot easier. So that book's, teaching Nala how to overcome the green-eyed monster because she's about to become
That's
a big
right.
sister.
Jealousy.
So, jealousy, that's right. So that's how you get over any challenges, that if you just take the time to think about everything you feel grateful for and stop living in that lower vibration of jealousy, fear, whatever, and get in that higher frequency, then everything is bliss. Then you could be in the same situation in your life, but if you just think of it in a different perspective, you start feeling better because you're not feeling that low vibration frequency anymore.
That's so true. Perspective. I think I consider perspectives like one of the keys to unlocking a grateful heart. Like it's so important. Without perspective, you can't appreciate where you are, and without perspective, you can't realize I have a choice in this too.
Exactly.
Without perspective, you're going to be a victim, and then you're just gonna, and the fact that, like I said, you sent me your book and I read it and I did really get emotional over it just because I understand. I understand the you put it so simplistic and it was so beautiful, and it connected on so many different levels. So she has this jealousy, which is very relatable to everybody, and you explain it really well, and you explain it to a kid. This is really well, and then you explain, what your character explains to her what's going on there, and what she can do to turn that around, which is gratitude. That's right. Gratitude can erase jealousy. Gratitude says, I have enough. I don't need to have what you have.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. It takes the lack of want and have healthier and happier. It's an actual study that if children are taught gratitude from an early age, by the time they're older, they're so much happier because they're not looking of things of what they don't have in their life, of what they think they're lacking. They're just so grateful for what they do have. You know, like I said, you can put anybody in any situation. One person can be in a Lamborghini and they're thinking, oh, you know, I have these bills to pay or whatever. And the other person could be in a Lamborghini and say, oh, I'm so blessed and grateful for, you know, this vehicle I have or whatever. They're both in the same situation, but have a different thought process. And I don't understand that. You know, I always say that, you know, things happen to us in life that we can't control, but we can control how we respond and react to it. So if we just change the perspective, remove ourselves from our ego, from our victim mentality, and then think about it in a different way. Sometimes it is a little bit challenging when you're in the moment, and I understand that. You have to allow yourself to go through the grieving process, you know, with if especially it's something traumatic or tragic. But then, you know, step out of that and then rise above, because, you know, life isn't promised to anyone and every moment counts. And that's why it's called today is the present, because it's a gift. It's a gift and we should be just grateful for it.
And you said so much good stuff there. I was doing my best not to like think about how I was trying just to listen to you. Because I had thoughts and I was like, let them go, listen, I want to be present. I'm really enjoying this. I'm so in tune with what you're saying. Geez, what was I completely, because I had my train of thought there. Yeah, it's the presence a gift, perspective, and geez, so I'm completely lost now. Okay.
Okay.
No, it's just, geez. So I think get back to what you in the book there, she's letting her have perspective. Okay. I think I know what I was going to say, that idea of not counting other people's blessings. I read a book recently and the thought process came around to, if you were talking to an adult, you could say something like, just stop counting other people's blessings. That's it. Right. Just stop doing it. And when you, so basically trauma, that's what I was reading into you. I wanted to add to your trauma, which is right. And we're saying very similar things. Yeah. With trauma, obviously, I can't speak to anybody's pain, but I think the most important thing is that the individual knows that it's a choice, or they know that this is not forever, and that that they, at some point, they're going to have a choice to decide if they want this to be, this is my stopping point or this is my going point.
Right. But they want that to define them, right?
Yeah,
you don't want
exactly.
Whatever happened to define them. Like, I'm going to use you for an example because I read all about you and I think it's so beautiful how you started this.
Oh, thank you.
So God bless your mother, first of all. So thank you to her for bringing us you. And that, that you started this because of the letter to your mom and, about the birthday. And that was so beautiful to me that that's how you started with this gratitude journey. And, you made a conscious choice that it was traumatic for you to lose your mom, but you said, I'm going to take this and I'm going to continue it on. And then you started writing the letter to your father. And then you're bringing everybody else into this world with this gratitude. And I think that's so beautiful. So that was a conscious choice that you've made and making a difference in this world with that. And what a beautiful way to have a tribute to your mom because of it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I found that, in my situation, it really became, in this, it's the idea that gratitude, I like gratitude is like an anchor, or it's like a lighthouse. So it can be an anchor or a lighthouse. Sometimes when you're out there, it's just important to know that you have things to be grateful for, which can allow you to take a breath. And that's sometimes all you need to know. And you have to go back down. It's just gratitude allows you to take a moment away from whatever the turmoil is. It can allow you at that moment just to step away for a second, which is
Yes.
good, you know, before you get back into the mess.
Yes.
And just knowing that it's there, knowing that if you wake up, if you just wake up and you appreciate the fact you're alive, a lot of bad stuff can go down in the day, but you will
Yes.
at least know, okay, I'm alive. Or whatever, you know, whatever your
Yeah.
thing is. I don't
And
know what it is.
tomorrow's a new day.
Yeah. And yeah,
Tomorrow's a new day. We have fresh start. Whatever happened today, it doesn't matter. It's already gone. It's in the past. It's finished. And tomorrow we start fresh.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's the beauty of it too, right? And that's what I love about gratitude. And I think the how I started my journey was actually reading The Magic, which was really great because like I'm such a typical A personality. I'm very structured. I'm very organized, and I can read a book in 4 hours, like the whole book, right? But that book made me do homework after every chapter, and I couldn't go on to the next one. And that was, I think, my defining moment of really like putting gratitude into motion, like for me. So of course there were so many things in our lives that that helped me shift and make the person I am, but I think that was the one book I think that really helped for me.
I haven't read that. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, so you're saying that by doing the daily practice, it allowed you
Right.
to just to slide into this place and
Yeah, just to focus and zone into that one thing that you learned that day and to be grateful for it, and that's how I started my day. Like that's how I learned that before I wake up in the morning, I say thank you for another blessed day of being alive. I'm so grateful for all the abundance in my life and all the abundance is yet to come. I am in loving awareness, right? That's what I say before my feet touch the ground. I don't touch my phone, I don't look at anything else. I do that. And then I go into my quantum breath and then I do my meditation. And then because I'm setting the tone for the day, right?
right.
And then at the end of the day, I do the same thing. I do my affirmations and then I do my gratitude for the day. Whether it's something that was fantastic, like having a wonderful moment here with you today, Chris, and meeting such a beautiful soul like you and being on your show, or if something went horribly wrong and I had to learn a very valuable lesson, because that there's beauty in that too, right? So I never say there's ever winning or losing. I think there's winning because you win by accomplishing something or you win by learning a very valuable life lesson.
That's so true. And it's so, yeah, it's so important that, I mean, this is the most simplistic thing anybody can do to start a gratitude practice, which I call, I kind of think I equate everything just into musical terms. So basically, if you're wanting to, start a gratitude practice, you got to learn your scales. Learning your scales is just simplistically stating what you're grateful for in the most simplistic, easy, anybody could do it. A child could do it.
Right.
What are the things that I'm happy for around here? That's what you start. And if you do that in the morning, that's great. And then so with I've kind of considered what I do and what I strive to do is be a gratitude conductor. So
Yeah.
the idea of the orchestra is, my thing is I didn't teach the person the scales. I wasn't there without the instrument. I wasn't there when they practiced. I didn't get them, involved in the band, but I just want to be in front of the person to go, that's all I want to do. I just want to trigger the
That's right.
moment that allows them to make the expression, which is all theirs, because that's that has nothing to do with me. And it's not even, anybody can do it.
That's right.
And that's, so, playing. So in that scenario, what I like to think is you have the beginner playing the scales, but then you have learning songs, and learning songs is what I consider gratitude cube. So this is where you take an idea and you go in depth with it. So
Yes.
it's
I
in
love
this
that.
work. Yeah, this works with people, things, and places, experiences. It's very simplistic to take any one item. If you're listing 5 things, you take one of the things. So it could be your bed. Let's just go with your
Yeah.
bed. Okay. So I'm grateful for my bed. So why am I grateful for my bed? Well, um, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
I've got a
It's
nice,
warm.
it's
It's
warm. I got a
cozy.
pillow. There's nice temperature controlling. It's dark. I can listen to my music in there. I get good sleep. It's peaceful. It's off the ground. There's so many and these are things, again, these are everyday things that everyone had, most people have. But bottom line, if you start saying why, you get emotion. What you're doing now is you're attaching emotion.
That's
And
right.
that's so much more than playing the scales.
Absolutely.
And that thing also works with people. It's really great.
That's right.
It's like, why do I love this person that's in my life? And then what happens is you go, well, this is why you start thinking, you recreate memories, these happy memories, and
That's right.
these chemicals in your mind.
That's right.
You feel, what happens then is a person's name becomes love,
Yes.
because you've put things behind it. And that
That's
works
right.
so it works with people, places. But I like the idea of like looking back at what had to happen for you to be in the moment you are with the person you're with.
That's
You
right.
know, so that's another way where it's like, okay, well, a lot had to happen for
Yeah.
me and you to be in this moment. And if we
Yeah.
both think back about these steps and the people we met and the things we did and the places we went, and then we realize we're right here, if you appreciate where you're at,
Yes.
you can think about that. If you have appreciation in your life, you
Yes.
could be in a moment and you can have all that happen. And then that is really, I'm like, I didn't even go
Mind-blowing.
into expressing it, right? But I can
Yeah.
feel it. I'm talking about, I
Yeah.
can feel the chemicals in my
Yeah.
body, and the
Yeah.
excitement around,
Yeah. The endorphins are firing up.
yeah, because I'm excited, because I appreciate it so much. I appreciate all of it, the good and the bad, because you
And
got
now
to
you're
take,
raising your vibration to here, right?
exactly, because I accept it all, and I realize that you have to have the good and the bad. It all had to happen. It all had to happen exactly the way it happened, so I
That's
could
right.
be sitting here in front of you, and I could be having this conversation and having this connection. So that, that's that idea. But the conductor, again, I feel like on the hierarchy, if you can, so it's really great to be alone and talk what you're grateful for. That's wonderful. But if you can take depth, that's spectacular. But if the conductor premise is you can initiate somebody else, because now you're bringing somebody else in.
Yeah.
It is by far the best experience in gratitude there is, honestly, is when you
Absolutely.
bring a second person. Because when I ask you and you share, the amazing thing is I get to initiate this creation of this beautiful thing, and then it's a reflection back at me. And
That's right.
and you cannot get that by yourself.
No.
You have to include somebody else. And the cool thing about this idea is, isn't like you and I, even if I wasn't sitting here saying thank you for coming on the show, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just asking you to share what you're grateful for. So you could do this to a stranger. It could be a
Yes.
complete stranger, or it could be your best friend.
Absolutely. Yes.
It doesn't. There's no roadblocks. There's no
No.
reason why you can't engage somebody in that process. So
That's
I know I
great.
was just going on my orchestration rant there.
No, I enjoyed it very much. So thank you for that. No, I completely resonate to what you're saying. And I agree with you 100%. And that was the intention of the series, is that, I want to shift the universe in a positive direction. So, and if I can make a difference, because we all have the ability to make a difference in this world, but together we can make a change.
Right.
So, and that's what we're doing. We're, as a collective, coming together, and we're making a difference, and then making a change, slowly shifting, just putting that thought, like you right now, I put that thought, we're planting our seeds, and then we're
Right.
watching it flourish. And some might blow away, and some may, not do well, but then some will grow and then prosper, and then those seeds will fall down, and they will plant, and they will keep going and keep going. And that's what we are here for. I'm here as a conduit to serve the higher good.
That's beautiful. And I again, back to your book, I love, teaching kids about gratitude is such a I feel like the idea behind your book and what you're doing, it's like it's like a superpower. Just being able to simplistically, your art form is out there. This book's about to come out, and it will assist parents in teaching kids about gratitude. And that's so freaking beautiful. And that's why it hit me so much, because I know what's going to happen. And I know that it is happening. And this tool you made is going to go out into the world, and it's going to impact people you're never going to see or ever even hear about. You will hear some, but it's just, a book's a really beautiful thing because you don't know where somebody gets it right, but you don't know where it goes.
No,
It can go anywhere. It
Yeah.
could have been bought, sat on a shelf for a year, and the next thing you know, it's over here. And it's, the message is harder. You know, I mean, again, like we're talking about, we just all we can do is create and release, and and just know that it's going to do what it's going to do, and that just knowing is very exciting. And that, you know, and that makes it more than worthwhile. You know, that makes everything worth it. But I love kids learning gratitude is such a if you could, I mean, it's so beautiful. I would say thank you for writing the book. I really it really did touch me, because I really appreciate it. Yeah.
That's the beauty of the books, is that I've had so many adults tell me that even though these are considered children's books, adults enjoy them as well. And it's secretly a message to parents as well. To remember things, because, you know, people get caught up in their everyday life with work or shuffling kids from one thing to another. They forget the valuable things that are important in life. And that's what each of every story of the books in the Honeycake series does. You know, they all have a metaphor. They all have an activity of doing a family bonding together. One is cooking, one is building blocks, one is donating, one is like, you know, gratitude, you know, giving back to the world and all that too. So that's why I think the fifth book was a beautiful finishing touch to the series of teaching gratitude. You know, you have teaching children about diversity, teaching children about mindfulness, teaching children about kindness, and then teaching children about open and honest communication, and then of course tying it off with gratitude. So yeah, you know, I'm just so honored and grateful that I'm able to be, like I said, a conduit of this message giving to the world. And wherever it goes, and whoever it resonates with, I'm just blessed and honored to make a difference in that one person's life.
It's such a beautiful thing. I was thinking, you know, when you're saying it's the fifth book, the closure, you know, there's a really great author and podcaster named Dave Asprey, and he had a TED talk several years back, but it was, you know, he talked about all these amazing things he learned about biohacking, all this stuff. It's a really great TED talk. At the very end, and I have a really great memory of this because I was watching this TED talk, and then I got in my car and I was just listening to it on my phone, sitting on my driver's seat. And he said, you know, he said, you could ignore everything I just told you about if you just decided that you want to start practicing gratitude every day. And I remember I literally stopped my car and I was like, are you kidding me? I literally was talking to myself. Like he wanted, so he told all, you know, he buttoned it up at the end with, here's gratitude. Here's gratitude. This is very important. I'm closing with this. This is gratitude. Right. And then his last book I read was the same thing. At the he had all these people. He talked about all this cool stuff, all these people. Yeah. And then the very last chunk of his book was about gratitude. And I love, you know, putting something at the butt end is like, this is what it's either the beginning or the end. The most people, you know what I mean? It's like, this is what people remember. Yes. And it's a beautiful, I love that. I just love that that's your, you know, this series, 5 series is like you're buttoning everything up with gratitude and appreciation.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Can you, you know, I have a little, it's kind of a gratitude experiment here. So basically, I'm going to ask you a few questions, and you just give me a short answer. Okay. So when I say the word somebody in my life I'm grateful for, who first comes to, who just pops in your head? What happens?
I would say my grandmother.
Okay. And then if I asked you a second time, somebody comes in you appreciate and you're grateful for in your life, who popped in now?
My grandson.
Okay. And I'm going to ask you one more time because we're going a third layer. Who's the third person that popped in your head?
Myself.
Okay. So the reason I did that is because I wanted to, I wanted, most people have their go-to. So you landed on yourself, which I love. So go ahead and express to me why you said myself.
Because I am grateful for myself because of everything that I've been through, my blessings to all the beautiful souls that I've come across. And beautiful souls, I say that because it doesn't necessarily have to be human being. It could be an animal. People come into your life for a reason or for a season, and their blessings, because it could have been something very challenging that I had to overcome. But I'm grateful for myself for that I'm this person of love and empathy, and that I've learned to look in the mirror and say, you know what, you're an amazing person, because that didn't come easily for me in the past. I very much lived in that victim mentality. I had a very abusive childhood, went through a lot of hardship with health, and just ended a 29-year marriage with my husband. But I'm looking in the mirror and I say, you know what? You're still an amazing person, and I love you. And I'm grateful for myself, because that's a journey of self-love that I'm really proud of.
That's beautiful. I love that so much. And it completely resonates with me, you know, so many different levels. If you can't, you know, if you don't love yourself, how can you really love other people? And if you can't love yourself, how can you really express that out to the world?
Exactly.
You know, and my friend Dino, who was on the podcast earlier this week, his definition of gratitude was, I am enough.
It is.
Which is very similar to what you just said. And I love that answer. And that goes back, that's basically the self-love. Gratitude is love. His definition of gratitude is I'm enough, which is I love myself. I love me.
That's right.
And that's a beautiful, beautiful answer. I love that. It's not a normal thing, you know, but you're making it very personal and real. And it resonates without much. You honestly don't have to say much, because it means so much. I really love that. Is there any time in the last, I don't know, month or two, has anybody shown you some kindness? You had some sort of maybe interesting sort of kindness moment that you could share with us, something that happened to you or something you were involved with?
Of course. Well, every day. So it's not in the last month, every single day. Because like I said, we do the prayer call every day. So that's the kindness that we show. But what I love is that Bobby and Nusha, that's a kindness, introducing me to you. Every day there's kindness. Oh my goodness, that I live and I do, and then people give to me. Also collaborating with I Dare You to Be. So that was a kindness that this company reached out to me. They're an online movement that started because of COVID. They usually deal with school systems, and they put all the curriculum together for school boards, but they put on an online platform for children from ages kindergarten to grade 12 to be able to go online and have free resources for education. And then they loved my series, and they made me part of their family. So,
wow.
Yeah, so that's why the 5th book actually is a sponsor, is I Dare You to Be. So they were the sponsor for the 5th book. And they're going to be involved with me, where they're going to have all my books as part of the curriculum, from North America to UK and hopefully Africa. Yeah.
Wow, that is a huge kindness. Wow.
Yeah. So, you know, it goes around, right? It comes back. Whatever you give out to the world, it comes back to you tenfold. I don't do that for that, but it's the law of attraction, right?
Right.
So, but yeah, I was really excited that that I Dare You to Be is part of the Honeycake series, and I'm really excited for that.
That's amazing. Wow. That really, wow. I'm glad I asked that question. Wow. Congratulations. That's really beautiful. Wow. The fact that your book's going to be traveling throughout the world, right? There you go. Your series, you put it out, and now it's going to be, because of this company and what they're doing, that it's going to be all over the world. That's
absolutely,
that's any creator's dream. So
yeah,
there you go. Right. Hello. Right.
Absolutely. Well, it's funny, because when I first wrote these books, because like I said, I had no writing background, and I had no intention to be a writer, and I had nobody to be a coach or a mentor, so I didn't know what to do. I just said, you know, I'm just going to put it out there. I wrote these books for a reason. So my two vision was, this has to be in every school. It has to be part of the curriculum. The second was, this has to be made into a TV show of some kind, because there's no animation show for children that shows diverse characters and teaches valuable lessons like this. Yeah. And guess what?
You
There's a
got,
production company who's picked me up and now is pitching to Disney Junior and a couple other studios to make Honeycake a TV series.
wow. Wow. Congratulations. I mean,
Thank
wow. It's like you
you.
got these people that it's like and you put it out and you've got these people that are just reaching out going, we love what you're doing. We want to assist this in
That's
becoming,
global.
yeah, in connecting with more people.
Yes,
And
yes,
you got, wow. So that's, yeah. I mean, yeah, to be able to make an animated thing because it's kids always watch cartoons,
yes.
to make it digestible in that way is, what a blessing. What a, to take it off the
Yeah,
page and to be able to do that.
yeah.
And the fact that you've got these people up to bat for you, that's massive. That's really amazing. That's really, really
Thank you.
amazing. I'm so happy for you.
Thank
I'm just
you.
happy that that's something that's happening,
Yeah,
that's in process. That's really exciting.
yeah.
I'm excited to hear
Thank
the
you.
future. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'll let me know and I'll
Of
find out how
course,
it goes
of
down.
course, of course. Because there's so many kids out there that are honey cakes or a little bit of mix of something, and they don't have anybody that represents them, and they
Right.
don't have to say, oh, that looks like my family. I'm a honey cake. And that's the beauty of the terminology, what honey cake means. It's so endearing and it's so catchy to say, hey, I'm a honey cake. And it because nobody's really one ethnicity. Like everybody has some
Right.
kind of spice. Like for instance, Chris, like what's your background? Just to tell me.
I think maybe my father's parents came out of Europe, but there's not, unfortunately I could not tell you very much about that.
Okay.
They were no good about telling me where I came from. I asked several times. I'm
Okay.
sure that obviously I'm not
No.
it wasn't here. That's not how that
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm just saying there's probably some kind of mix of ethnicities. It's not just straight one, only one.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
I think it's maybe Italian. I think my name's Palmore, but when I talk to some foreign people, they're like, a couple of friends of mine, they're like Palmore. That makes more sense than to be
Yeah.
considered Palmore. I like that a lot better
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what it was, and then
Yeah.
maybe after generations, it's just like, all right, Palmore.
Yeah.
Like it just
Yeah.
completely got lost. But
Yeah.
I like to think that there's some Italian background.
Right. Exactly. But even your mom's side too? Your mom's side is
My mom's side, my dad was an orphan, so I didn't. I mean, her
okay.
dad was an orphan, so I don't think
Okay.
he knew his.
Okay. But I'm saying that your parents have made you, so you're really a honey cake because you don't know what kind of exotic spices you have going on around you. So, because honey cake doesn't mean color, it's just a
Right.
mix of ethnicity. So, anyways, that's what that means. And like I
Yeah.
said, these books were made, like I said, for children, but they're secret messages for parents to realize the lessons that maybe they've forgotten along the way.
Oh yeah, it's definitely for everybody because I'm not a parent, and I totally get it.
Yeah.
I totally understand it. It's always nice to have the reminders of those. These messages are great reminders for
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
And the great thing is if you're sitting with a kid, you got that, you're getting it and they're getting it. So it's
Yes.
you've created this magical moment where the
Yes.
person that's older is remembering
Yes.
this is good and they're sharing it
Yes.
at the same time. So
Absolutely.
it's a very special thing for somebody to sit down with a kid and have that connection. So,
Yeah.
and it's so simplistic.
Yeah. And I was saying this to you before too, is that because like greeting cards are like, $5 to $9. I don't know about you, but it's really expensive here in Canada. So
Mm-hmm.
instead of buying a card that they just look at it and they throw it away, thank you very much, unless there's money in it, whatever. I always say, get one of the books, write your message in the book.
Mm-hmm.
So now they have a tool or a book that has a valuable message, but when they look at it, they always will think about you and say, oh, Uncle Chris got me that, or you donated to a school or whatever. But I just think it's just a better way than cards are just, unless you cut them up and use it for other things. But cards.
No, when you wrote me, but yeah, I think that's I think it's a brilliant idea. I totally do. Yeah. If you're going to get somebody a card, then, giving them obviously giving them a book with a message and you can write it there. It's going to mean 5 times more, 10 times more, because cards either get thrown away or they get put in a basket and never looked at again.
Exactly. But with the book, could be any book. It doesn't have to be like, I'm just saying, at least that's something they will remember when they're reading that gets that an emotion. It's like, oh, like this is so beautiful. you know.
Right, right. And like we said before too, even if the kid grows up, the book again can travel somewhere else.
That's right.
Opposed to it's because it's a book, it's not a card. A card's
That's
not
right.
traveling. A card's going to go in the trash.
That's right.
A book can travel.
That's right. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
so
That's right.
it has that possibility of reaching another person too, which is really
That's right.
cool.
That's
So
right.
you know, to close out here, do you have any
Yes.
suggestions for people how to any daily suggest? I mean, we already talked about, you know, you said you wake up. I love the fact you wake up with a prayer of gratitude.
Yes.
But if you were, you know, some other maybe daily things that you could suggest
Yes.
people to help them get into the practice.
Absolutely. So I wake up, I do my prayer, but then every step I say thank you. So every step I'm walking, and I make sure I do a 20-minute walk in nature with no phone as well. And I say thank you. I really take in the clean air, the trees, the nature I'm in. I'm thinking, I'm in the shower. I'm saying thank you that I have water to take a bath in or a shower in, that I'm able to take a shower. Because a lot of people don't realize how grateful they are for things unless they get taken away. Unless they're put in a situation that, you know, they got so sick they're not able to bathe themselves, or they can't dress themselves, or they can't feed themselves. So every day I say thank you. I thank you for everything, every little thing, because every day is a miracle. Everything is a miracle. And when you see it in that light, you're like, wow, it's so true. Like, you know what I mean?
No, I
So
do know what you
yeah.
mean.
So I do that. And then at the end of the day, like I said, I say thank you for, like I said, whether it was a lesson that I learned or a wonderful experience like today. So I always end with gratitude. I wake up with gratitude and I end with gratitude, and have gratitude through the day.
That's beautiful. I love that saying, thank you. You know, my friend Dino had said to me, when he was talking to me, he said, if you just wake up with the intention, you know, like you just say, today's going to be a great day. What, you know, and just like you're waking up saying, thank you. What happens is through the day, your mind's automatically looking for things to say thank you for. And then at the end of the day, you get to reflect, because you've done that, you can reflect on the things that you're grateful for and the reasons that why it's a great day. And then you've buttoned the whole thing up, and it's, you know, I've been practicing that for the last couple of months, and it's a wonderful way to start. And in the day, I fall asleep very simplistically, you know, because I'm never caught up in like negative thoughts or anything. I'm basking in this is why what was happened today, you know, and then I just fall asleep.
That's right.
I don't have any negativity keeping me, you know, I don't go to sleep nervous or angry or, you know, nothing's keeping me.
No, because
My body tensed up.
I find that gratitude is that secret barrier, that protection of all negativity, and it just bounces it off. It bounces off.
That's a great metaphor. I love that. It's like, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's just,
it's like a shield, a visible
shield.
Like or like an oil, and the water's like negativity just falls right off of you because it can't stick onto you, because when you're so grateful and you're beaming in that high level vibration, you're all good. Life is bliss.
Right. It takes it. Yeah. To knock you down, it takes a lot more than would normally do it. Right. Right. Because you could reflect back. So that was so beautiful. Medea, thank you so much for coming on Gratitude Space Radio. I've really enjoyed our time, and I'm so happy that again, just thank you for sharing your books and all of the amazing things that are happening. And you know, I definitely think that sometime down the road, after you have, I know some more amazing things are going to happen. I would love to have you back on just to do an update of what Honeycake's doing and what's been happening out in the world because of this beautiful creation.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'm Chris with Gratitude Space Radio, and Medea saying, stay grateful.